ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे नमः। श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। श्रीवेदव्यास वैशम्पायने याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकरादि समस्त गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। उपनिषदुक्त परब्रह्मणः अस्मिन् क्षणे एव अनुभवप्राप्त्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्तिकल्याणार्थं समस्तसाधकानां साधनानां संपदानाम् अवाप्त्यर्थं विघ्ननिर्मूलनार्थं छान्दोग्य उपनिषदः पारायणं तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः भाष्यसमेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणम्। In this Parayana Yajnam, we are doing the chanting of Chandogya Upanishad. 2 adhyayas we have completed. Let us start the 3rd adhyaya. Om Atha Chandogya Upanishada Shanti Mantraha. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaha Chakshuh Shrotram Atho Balam Indriyani Cha Sarvani सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मामा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते ये उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तो। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ अथ तृतीयोऽध्यायः प्रथमः खण्डः। ॐ असौ वा आदित्यः देवमधो तस्य द्यौः एव तिरश्चीनवंशः अन्तरिक्षमपूपः मरीचयः पुत्राः तस्य ये प्राञ्चः रश्मयः ताः एव अस्य प्राच्यः मधुनाड्यः रुच एव मधुकृतः ऋग्वेद एव पुष्पम् ता अमृता आपः ता वा एता रुचः एतं ऋग्वेदम् अभ्यतपगं सः अभ्यतपगं तस्याभितप्तस्य यशः तेजः इन्द्रियं वीर्यम् अन्नाद्यगं रसः अजायत तद्व्यक्षरत् तदादित्यम् अवितः आश्रयत् तद्वा एतद् यदेतत् आदित्यस्य रोहितगं रूपम्। अथ द्वितीयः खण्डः। अथ ये अस्य दक्षिणारश्मयः ताः एव अस्य दक्षिणामधुनाड्यः यजुवंशि एव मधुकृतः यजुर्वेद एव पुष्पं ता अमृताः आपः तानि वा एतानि यजुगुंषि एतं यजुर्वेदम् अभ्यतपगंस्तस्याभितप्तस्य यशः तेजः इन्द्रियं वीर्यम् अन्नाद्यं रसः अजायत तद्व्यक्षरत् तदादित्यम् अवितः आश्रयत् तद्वा एतत् यदेतत् आदित्यस्य शुक्लगं रूपम्। अथ तृतीयः खण्डः। अथ ये अस्य प्रत्यञ्चः रश्मयः ता एव अस्य प्रतीच्यः मधुनाड्यः सामानि एव मधुकृतः सामवेद एव पुष्पं ता अमृता आपः तानि वा एतानि सामानि एतकुं सामवेदम् अभ्यतपन् तस्याभितप्तस्य यशः तेजः इन्द्रियं वीर्यम् अन्नाद्यगं रसः अजायत तद्यक्षरत् तदादित्यम् अभितः आश्रयत् तद्वा एतत् यत् एतत् आदित्यस्य कृष्णगं रूपम् अथो चतुर्थः खण्डः अत ये अस्या उदञ्चः रश्मयः ताः एव अस्या उदीच्यः मधुनाड्यः अथर्वाङ्गिरसः एव मधुकृतः इतिहास पुराणं पुष्पं ता अमृता आपः ते वा एते अथर्वाङ्गिरसः एतत् इतिहास पुराणम् अभ्यतपन् तस्य अभिदप्तस्य यशः तेजः इन्द्रियं वीर्यम् अन्नाद्यगं रसः अजायत तद्व्यक्षरत् तदादित्यम् अभितः आश्रयत् तद्वा एतत् यद् एतत् आदित्यस्य परं कृष्णगं रूपम् अथ पञ्चमः खण्डः अथ ये अस्य ऊर्ध्वा रश्मयः तस्याः एव अस्य ऊर्ध्वा मधुनाड्यः गुह्या एव आदेशाः मधुकृतः ब्रह्म एव पुष्पं ता अमृताः आपः ते वा एते गुह्या आदेशाः एतद् ब्रह्म अभ्यतवन् तस्याभितप्तस्य यशः तेजः इन्द्रियं वीर्यम् अन्नाद्यगं रसः अजायत तद्व्यक्षरत् तदादित्यम् अभितः आश्रयत् तद्वा एतत् यत् एतत् आदित्यस्य मध्ये क्षोभतः इव ते वा एते रसानागं रसाः वेदाहि रसाः तेषाम् एते रसाः तानि वा एतानि अमृतानाम् अमृतानि वेदाः हि अमृताः तेषाम् एतानि अमृतानि अथ षष्ठः खण्डः तद्यत् प्रथमम् अमृतं तत् वसवः उपजीवन्ति अग्निना मुखेन न वै देवा अश्नन्ति न पिबन्ति एतदेव अमृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यन्ति त एतदेव रूपम् अभिसंविशन्ति एतस्मात् रूपात् उद्यन्ते स य एतद् एवम् अमृतं वेद वसूनाम् एव एकः भूत्वा अग्निना एव मुखेन एतद् एव अमृतं दृष्ट्वा तृप्यते स एतदेव रूपम् अभिसंविशति एतस्मात् रूपात् उदेते स यावत् आदित्यस्य पुरस्तात् उदेता पश्चात् अस्तमेता वसूनायमैव तावद् आधिपत्यगं स्वराज्यं पर्येता ॐ शान्तिः 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 ओमद श्री कृष्ण यजुर्वेदांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकांतर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ओम यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वम् अदवाक्यप्रमाणदः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ अथ प्रथमा शिक्षावल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः परार्थनामन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Saluting Brahma Tattva, saluting Shruti Mata, saluting Guru Tattva, saluting entire Guru Parampara, saluting our own Swaguru, saluting the Lord in various forms, saluting our own Ishtadevata, saluting Vedavyasa, Vaishampayana, Yagnavalkya and the Adi Shankara Bhagwan. Salutations to our own personal Guru Maharaj. We are studying Taittiriya Upanishad. We are into the Siksha Valli. 11th Anuvaka is done before the conclusion with the 12th Anuvaka. After that, in the second Valli, it is because pure Brahma Vidya alone is taught, and that Brahma Vidya is the Vidya about the self which already is existing. Anything need not be done there, only we have to become aware of it. That being aware is called as Vidya. So, Mukti is given by Brahma Prapti. Brahman is already there. Therefore, the Praptasya Prapti is always with Vidya. And anything other than the Vidya, technically called as a Vidya. So, it is almost opposite to Vidya only. From the Avidya only, the Antakaraname Kamana. From the Kamana, the Karma. From the Karma, the Karma Phala. The Karma Phala makes us samsari by giving us the births in various deha, in various lokas. If these two things are understood in the Spashta Rupa, we can know that they are tangentially opposite. So, with the Vidya already existing Brahma Anubhuti leading to the Mukti from the Bandhana of all limitations happens. And who is Baddha? The Jiva. With what? Upadhis. How? By doing karmas. After what? By getting the phala. So then going into different worlds. Then trying to eke out Sukha Dukkha there as a result of karma. So, the Brahma Vidya is giving moksha, karma is giving bandhana. Therefore, if we are the moksha arthi, we have to only exclusively pursue the Vidya only. But because of the strong notions about the karma's effectiveness in giving the phala, strong notion about the karma's effectiveness in giving phala, because karma was giving phala in the vyavahara, in the samsara. So, some type of people are there what? They are involving in the karma only because of kamana backed by avidya. So, avidya से जनित कामना से जनित कर्म और कर्मफल में इन्वॉल्व होना generally every samsari's way of living. Even when comes to adhyatmika jivanam, even after listening to shastra etc., still easily that notion never goes away that through karma the karma phala comes. Therefore, the moksha giving atmanubhuti also is the phala of the karma. Therefore, I have to do something, do something, do something. That notion continues to make us karta, continues to sustain us karta and bhokta. Thus, by doing you remain as jiva only. Therefore, what is adhyatmika sadhana? Do those by which all the undoing is done. Thereafter, know that by which the ignorance is replaced or gone. So, sakala sadhanaओं के द्वारा all antakarana shuddhi is achieved with the shuddha antakarana already existing paramatma anubhava prapti we have to have. And what is the prapti there? Vidya. What is Vidya? That I am that, that's it. That I am that also, at one level it is Vrityatmaka. That removes all the other Vrittis of I am not that or I am other things. At a higher stage, even I am that Vritti is not required. I am that, it's an anubhuti. That is called as Yat Sakshat Aparokshat Brahma. It's called Aparoksha Anubhuti. This is the goal of the Vedanta. Aparoksha Anubhuti of what? That which is there eternally, the self. Somehow, for whatever reason, falling down from that status, we now conditioning ourselves with all the upadhis, living life like a jiva. This is samsara, this is a bandhanam. Only Vedanta's Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, Brahmatmaikya Bodha Vidya takes us back to our own original essential nature. That he is going to teach us in the coming Valli. So, for that, all the interest that this person has in karma so far, it is made to be eliminated. One, by doing all the due karma of Satyavada, Dharmam, Chara, Ityadi. Later on, trying to prove, Bhagavan Adi Shankara in his this Sambandha Bhashya is trying to prove to this person that karma is not required. Vidya is sufficient for gaining Atmanubhuti and then moksha. आत्मानुभूति के बाद मोक्ष नहीं है. आत्मानुभूति alone is the moksha. Therefore, this Purva Pakshi, through karma you want to achieve moksha. Karma supported by the Vidya, karma and Vidya in the equal percentage, or Vidya supported by the karma can give moksha. In so many ways, he was in the notion, but Siddhanti says no karma apeksha is there for the moksha giving Vidya. Vidya is self-sufficient in giving the mukti. This thought has to be very thoroughly kept in our heart. Then only on the seat of meditation, instead of doing anything, we try to be. In that be itself is the being is experienced. That is moksha. There nothing should be done. If anything do, the doer is born. He is called karta. He get the karma phala of the doing. Karta, karma phala all belong to the jiva bhava, the ajnana sthiti, not in the moksha sthiti of vidya of the atma. This we have to very clear. So these are the things in our discussion from last few days. We are trying to understand what Bhashyakara is trying to tell. No, this is one's understanding. Once this is understood, it is once for all. And the crystal clear aspect is what? Every other sadhanas are for making our antakarana shuddha. Through shuddha antakarana, we are attentive. Recognizing the all-pervading self, that I am that. That's it to be done. Nothing is done here, which is there already, that is recognized. That also an effort and karma in the beginning. Later on, in that effort of recognizing every anatma is rejected, that effort also is dropped, then that recognition becomes as an experience. These are the things again and again when we listen, then that closed intellect gets opened, then we get the understanding. Okay. Now, yesterday in this, we have seen up to his prashna, and what is that? Even Gati Shruti also is being, Gati Shruti is rejected, and Gati Aishwarya Shruti also is answered. What is the Gati Aishwarya Shruti? Ki in the Upanishads, in the Vedas, sadhanas lead to taking us to different loka, and there strivihi, yanaiviya, ityadi, ishwaratva, sukha are given. Therefore, the gamanam is said by the Shruti only, therefore gamana kriya is required. But the answer is what is given there? All of that are for the Karya Brahma, not for the Karana Brahma. कारण ब्रह्म में ये सारा होता नहीं है. गति, ऐश्वर्य, ज्ञान, स्त्री. वही बिकॉज ऑफ दीज कोटेशंस गिवन बाय भगवान, इट इज एकमेवा द्वयम, इट इज यत्र न अन्यत् पश्यति तत् केन कं पश्येत इत्यादि श्रुतिभ्यः. अप टू दिस वी saw yesterday. So all these shruti vakyas say about that Paramatma anubhuti called moksha is of nature of one without second. Therefore, there is no Eganta, there is no Gamya Sthanam, there is no Gamana Kriya, and in that Gamya Sthanam, there is no Aishwarya of the Yana, Bhoga, Ityadi. They are all there only in the Karya Brahma. And we have explained yesterday why then Shruti said about all those Gamya Lokas, Gamya Sthanas, and also the Aishwarya Ityadi, only to take us out of the strong notion of ours thinking that life with this Deha in this world within this stipulated period of time of birth to death alone is ultimate. To make us rise above this wrong notion or limited notion, the Shruti Mata says. So when it says about the Lokantara, means other Loka, it says that this is not the only Loka that is existing. When it is said that there also the Aishwaryas are there, it shows that this is not the only one. If you can put the effort as said in the Shruti of Karma and Upasana, even you can reach there. After reaching there, after try that way reaching for many times, we understand that those lokas also are like this temporary. That is what I already said earlier. Yatha asmin loke karmachita loka kshiyate amushmin api karmachita loka kshiyate. Then he will know it. Anything gained as a result of karma is limited. That is understood by that person who tried many a times through various karmas to reach higher and higher, higher and higher lokantaras. Then a question comes in him, a seeking comes in him. Is there any effortless but never ending state of happiness? Is it there? At that time, that question comes. Then his attention is shifted towards the self, the reality, the truth, which is ever present, eternal, and it is of the nature of bliss. Luckily, it is already there. You only have to recognize it. First, in the Siddhanta, we understand it as the substratum for every Rupa, Nama, Vyashti and Samashti, Sura, Sukshma Karana. In सबका substratum के रूप में सिद्धांत में we understand it first. Later on, by the outer sadhanas, inner sadhanas, to a great extent, those things which are superimposed on this Paramatma, we reduce them and their effect. Then, when the innermost deep meditation sadhana mein, then we recognize that. Once you recognize it and look back, other than it, there is nothing. If at all something is there, it is that alone on whom some Rupa Nama is superimposed by that inexplicable Shakti called as Maya. So that person transcendentally is in his own state of self. It is infinite, it is blissful, therefore he is not bound or mukta. And when he comes in the utthana sthiti of interacting with the world, everything that is involved in the interaction, he knows that as Paramatma only. And where are the differences? What for the differences? They are not, listen carefully this next sentence, they are not paramarthika, they are only vyavaharika. Problem with the world comes only when you take the world as a real. When you know it is unreal, then there is no problem. Anything, you play a sport. If you take it as a real, then it becomes a prestige and you try to win, and for that, every nonsense we do. Take up politics. If it is taken as only a seva, an expression of my own ability and love for the nation, there is no samsara created in being politician, getting a power and serving or not getting. To serve, power is not required. But power is there, you can serve more authentically. That's the difference. If it is taken as real, then all the problems come off. I must get elected, I must be in the power, everybody should listen to me, and whatever I say, that alone should happen. All of them are what? When it is taken as so real. If it is real, it should have stayed permanently. What is it staying permanently in the world? Nothing is staying. Should it not give us the common sense understanding that everything therefore coming and going not permanent? When you accept the world to be not permanent, not real, be attentive. That's what the whole point. Even though it is not real or permanent, yet it appears and it gives experiences. That is the power of Maya. नॉन एग्जिस्टिंग को एग्जिस्ट करवाया, एग्जिस्टिंग को रियल के रूप में दिखाया और रियल का अनुभव दिलाया. लाइक नॉन एग्जिस्टिंग स्वप्न is made to exist, then that is given reality, and all the anubhuti of sukha dukkha to that swapna purusha also are gained. And when you wake up, the swapna jagat is unreal, swapna purusha is unreal. At that swapna purushas, every sukha dukkha is unreal. That is called as awakening to the substratum of that entire jagat, called as waking. In the same way, the entire world of multiplicity which we are in the Jagrada Avastha, is a long dream. It's all mithya projected. Reality as Paramatma. Clear? So when you take this jagat as real, you never go to the reality. Only when we know this world is mithya, then what is substratum behind this mithya jagat? That question, that search begins. Is called as the seeker of the self or the truth or reality. Then he is told, give the mithya value to the mithya jagat, don't value it more than that. And that devaluation is seen in the calmness and quietness of inner antakarana. In the antakarana, the disturbances come because of the world taken as real. When the world is not taken as real, why will the mind get disturbed? What are the disturbance in the mind? The raga, dveshadi, all vrittis. That's what we are going to study in our next text called as Patanjala Yoga Darshanam. When the world is not given status of reality, the mind is absolutely calm. When the world is given reality and some importance to that, its repercussions are in the disturbance of the mind. A disturbed mind cannot comprehend the तत्व ज्ञान सिद्धांत रूप में भी. ऐसे सिद्धांत भी जब समझ में नहीं आता तत्व का, then how can he experience it? If the theoretical knowledge itself is not clear, because of the disturbed mind, because of the world given reality, then how can he do the practice of that Siddhanta Jnanam? How can he get the anubhuti of that? All this we have to clearly understand. So here, so the karma gives only the outer results, not the inner Paramatma. Karma continues to make us as Jiva, continues to make us identify with Upadhis, continues to make the world as real, continues to make us involved in the world in the apeksha of the removal of dukkha and gaining the sukha. It appears also like that the sukha came, dukkha went away. It's all notional, imaginary, temporary. But again another thought, another karma. That way, life after life, year after the year, day after the day, moment to moment, we are always as a jiva with upadhi, doing karma, getting phala. In all this bargain, the self reality, which is the giver of mukti, we are not at all attending to it. This is how once, twice, thrice, in this way, the other way. Go on listening, go on contemplating, and at the end of which the two things have to be clear. Atmanubhuti, Jivanubhuti. Atmanubhuti is by Vidya, Jivanubhuti by Avidya, followed by Kama and followed by Karma. कर्म कर दिया तो फल, the outer phala, the inner phala of the impression, both of them are formed. Every time any karma done, because of which the outer karma phala and inner vasanas are formed, our avidya is becoming more and more stronger. We have to be very conscious of it. Means what? When we through all this study become very committed to know the truth, therefore sensitive in our every outer and inner behavior, naturally these cares happen. Like I am committed to control my diabetes. If I am so very committed, then naturally all the cares come in me as to what I am consuming. Is it containing sugar? I should not. Then, as diabetic, I am supposed to walk this much. This is how I have to avoid the thing. अरे सारे अपने आप होने लगते if I am committed. In the same way, the one who is committed for the moksha through the vidya, in him naturally these clarities get opened up. Or you will go to a guru and learn from him and gets that clarity of not valuing the karma phala itya. Bhagavan is trying to explain that through this Siddhanti Purvapakshi discussion. Now, after the Gati Shruti as well as Gati Aishwarya Shruti are answered. Gati Shruti is answered by saying what? Paramatma is everywhere there. Then how can there is Gamano? So to that goal which I am reaching is me only. I can't travel in myself. This is how Gati Shruti is rejected. Gati Shruti rejected means for the Vidya. Gati Shruti, Gati, Aishwarya Shruti are there for the Avidya Yukta Karya Brahma called as Jiva. And what for also we have just now said. Now he takes up another discussion. Yesterday we touched that also. What is that? The Kshetra of the Vidya, the Kshetra of the Karma are absolutely opposite. In karma, what are required are not at all allowed in the vidya. They're totally opposite. कर्म में ये चीज होते हैं और विद्या में ये नहीं होना चाहिए. When this much of oppositeness is there in both of them, how can you do the samuchaya of both of them? Is it not? You can't do it, no? So he is telling us that point. कि विरोधात च विद्या कर्मणोः. विद्या और कर्म में बहुत विरोध है. दे आर टोटली ऑपोजिट. Therefore, samuchaya anupapatti. There is no samuchaya possible between vidya and karma to give us the moksha. Vidya is purely required enough. Karma is not at all required. They are opposite nature. दो ऑपोजिट नेचर वाले कैसे मिलेंगे? साथ में है एक की तरह, then they can be together. Is it not? See, what is Vidya Vishayam? In Atma Vidya, in Moksha Vidya, what is that experience as well as the effort to get the experience is Pravilina. In the totally dissolved. What are the things dissolved? Kartradi Karaka Vishesha Tattva Vishayahi Vidya. सो कर्त्रादि कारक विशेष विलीन होने के बाद जो तत्व यथातथ है उसका जानकारी होता है, उसको विद्या कहते हैं. विद्या इज तत्व विषया विद्या. रिमेंबर व्हाट इज विद्या? तत्व का एज इट इज नॉलेज. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू द तत्व? द विशेषस आर एडेड. When the Visheshas are added, what is happening to that? It is taking the shape of Karta, Karma, Karmendriyasu, Karma Phala, Lokantara Gamanam. All these Visheshas are superimposed on the Tattva as Visheshatas. So, absence of all the Visheshas and seeing the Tattva as it is called Vidya. You have to be very careful about understanding what is Vidya. Vidya and Tattva Vidya. Very beautiful. Like what is the Tattva Vidya of a pot? Tattva Vidya of the pot is what is the substratum without which the pot cannot be. That Tattva cannot be again rejected. The potness is rejected by reaching to its Tattva called as mud. No, mud cannot be rejected. It is a substratum. as regard the mud and pot is concerned. In the same way, तत्व के ऊपर विशेषों का आपादन से कर्त्रादि बनकर संसार बन रहा है. तत्व को यथातथ जानना ही मोक्ष है, विद्या है. If you have to know the tattva as it is, all the visheshas which are superimposed on tattva have to be rejected. Therefore, pravilina kartradi karaka vishesha tattva, karaka vishesha tattva vishaya hi vidya. Vidya is tattva vishaya vidya. Which tattva vishaya vidya? Ye kartradi karaka pravilina vishesha. कर्त्रादि कारक विशेष है ना, उसका प्रविलीन करने के बाद तत्व यथातथ जो होता है उसको देखने को विद्या कहते हैं. वेरएस कर्म तद विपरीत कारक साध्येन कर्मणा विरुध्यते. इन द कर्म all the karakas are required. The karaka pratyay means for a karma to happen, whatever the things that are required, they are called as karaka. ये कर्म करने के लिए कर्ता होना चाहिए कि नहीं? या कर्म इंद्रिय होना चाहिए नहीं? यस. एंड कर्म करणास, आउटर करणास रिक्वायर्ड आर नॉट? या. कर्म इज रिक्वायर्ड. कर्म मीन्स ऑन whom the karma is done, that also is required. इन तत्व ज्ञान है, इनकी जरूरत नहीं है, कर्म में इनकी जरूरत है. How opposite they are, you see each other of them? Viruddhyate, then how can there be samuchaya? Be attentive there. The purpose is to have the moksha. Moksha is by knowing the tattva. But this Purvapakshi says, I can do something to know the tattva and get the moksha. Siddhanti says, if you do, you are in the trap. Om. If you are doing something, you are trapped in the variety of projected things on the tattva. तत्व को जानने के लिए क्या करना चाहिए? तत्व को जानना है. करना क्या है? करना itself is the superimposition on the tattva. This is what is the substantial thought here to be understood as guided to us by the Siddhanti. Up to this level, subject is not completed. Lot of more discussions are further there. And whole thing when we study, right from beginning, middle and end, and are able to visualize as a bird's eye view, the Siddhanti's point is very clearly understood. Half of it already understood. Moksha is being the Tattva. Tattva is already there. You just have to be it, called as Vidya. Anything done, it gives only the karma phala, not the moksha. That is what we have to know. Then, nahi ekam vastu paramartatah kartruttvadi visheshavatu tat shunyam cha iti ubhayatha drashtum shakyate. So only one thing only has got all the kartru karana adi, and that alone is free from both. In that way, you can't say. Either in it, the kartru karaka ityadi must be there or should not be there. Therefore, one has to be mithya in that. Avashyam hi anyatarat mithya syatu. Then which has to be the mithya? Anyatarasya cha mithyatva prasange yuktam yato swabhavika ajnana vishayasya dvaitasya mithyatvam. Be attentive here. Listen carefully. In the pure Jnanam, what is a pure Jnanam? Ekamevadvyam Brahma. In that Ekamevadvyam Brahma, the Dvaita is seen, projected. By because of what? Avidya. Okay? So, avidya से projected द्वैत ही naturally मिथ्या होना चाहिए. And what is avidya janita dvaitam? Kartrukaraka ityadi pratyas. And this dvaitam, which is producing or projecting kartrukaradi things, is mithya, is said in so many shastras. Quotations are given. यत्र हि द्वैतम इव भवति मृत्यो स मृत्युमाप्नोति अथ यत्र अन्यत् पश्यति तदल्पम् अन्यः असौ अन्य अहम् अस्मि इति न स वेद उदरमन्तरं कुरुते अथ तस्य भयं भवति इत्यादि श्रुतिशतेभ्यः. So all these shrutis which are quoted by Bhashyakara tells about the fallacy of the acceptance of the Dvaita. What is there is Ekamevadvayam only. In that Ekamevadvayam, seeing the Dvaita is ignorance, avidya. Because of this Dvaita seen only, you are falling from the infinite bliss into the trap or the bondage called as misery or dukkha. All this show. And in that Dvaita only, all these karta, karma, karma phala, they are all discussed. एक आत्मा में कोई कर्ता, कोई कर्मा, कोई कर्म फल का कोई होता नहीं. In the pure substrate. So, in these Shrutis, the Dvaita rejected points are told. This is to substantiate the conclusion arrived above. What was the earlier discussion? Ki in the Vidya, Kartru, Karma, Ityadi, Pratyas are not there. They are there only in the Avidya Janita Karma Kand. एक ही चीज में दोनों हो सकते नहीं. Therefore, one has to be mithya, one has to be real. Then this Dvaita is mithya is proved by all these quotations. Then the Advaita is true, also should be proved by the quotation. He quotes it. Satyatva the ekatvasya. That ekameva dvaya brahma alone is satya. Dvaitam is mithya. Dvaitam is mithya is proved through those quotations. Ekameva dvayam alone is satyam also has got quotations, so he is giving us. So this portion of Bhagavan Shankara's commentary, when we try to study deeply and understand, our intellects become sharper. This is what is the true Vedantic analysis. Without this deeper analysis, the deeply inner hidden Ajnana, avidyasa, strong negative notions never go away, and without their going away, the superficial information that Paramatma alone is one without second, it will never give us the moksha. I was saying deep analysis करके logically क्या श्रुति माता कह रही है उसको हमें समझना है. That gives conviction. Then to experience it, you have to do that nididhyasanam. So many Shrutis have said कि this Dvaita is asatya, Dvaita is mithya, Dvaita is the cause of dukkha, Dvaita is the cause of bhaya, Dvaita is the cause of bondage. All of them to say that the Dvaita alone is unreal, mithya. द्वैत में ही ये सब है. कर्ता, कर्मा, कारक, कर्मेंद्रियास, कर्म फला, देर ऑल टॉक्ड अबाउट. नो द्वैत की बात हो रही ना उसमें. ओके, देन द एकमेवा द्वयम ब्रह्म अलोन इज रियल. That also is said in quotations. Few are proposed here, put in front of us. Then satyatvam cha ekatvasya. एक बार ब्रह्म तत्व ही सत्य है, अनेक मिथ्या है. अनेक मिथ्या is proved through quotes. एकत्व alone सत्य, that is proved through again quotations. What are they? एकधा एव अनुद्रष्टव्यम. In the continuous drashta darshanam we have to do of eka tattva only, means एक है उसी का तुम दर्शन करने का कोशिश करो. That's what Bradharanyaka Upanishad said. Ekameva adviteyam. The self is one without second. Chandogya told us. Brahma eva idam sarvam. Anything which is seen as idam also is Brahman. This we discussed in different topics. Very important thing. On one Paramatma only, the drashta, darshana, superimpositions have done. Drashta, drushya, jnata, gneyam. Knower and known are the projections on one pure conscious Sachidananda Paramatma. This is how the creation happens. What's creation? Projection of the never existing knower and known dichotomy is called creation. Projection on the truth of the reality, in which there is no Dvaita. तो अद्वैत परमात्मा में ज्ञाता ज्ञेय रूपी द्वैत का निर्माण को ही सृष्टि करते हैं. एंड दिस द्वैत का निर्माण क्या है? इट इज नॉट रियल निर्माण, इट इज ओनली इमेजिनेशन प्रोजेक्शन. If you understand Vedanta after a lot of study, only in one place our sentence has to change when we talk. What is that? The creation is not created. The creation is imagined or projected. If you can understand the difference between these two, creation is created or creation is imagined or projected. If you take it as created, then you take it as real. But if you take it as projected, then we must know, we will inquire about on what it is projected. Because for projection, there should be an adhisthana or substrate. Think, cool, calm, quiet. So the entire world is real for an Ajnani. But for a Vedanti, it is imaginary and projected. And then for a Siddha Purusha, it is not at all there other than Paramatma. Paramatma alone is appearing like this. So, in the next quotation is what? Atma eva idam sarvam. Everything is self alone. See? This is what was yesterday in Bhagavatam also. See myself everywhere, myself in you, and yourself in me, yourself in everywhere. And today we will see in Bhagavatam, this is the essence of all the Shastras, all the sadhanas, all the means for moksha. There is nothing greater, higher than this. You and I, slowly, intellectually, through the study of all the Shastras, apprehending this one. Then this has to be practiced. Knowing this theory is called this Vedanta. Practicing is called yoga. That's why we do both of them. To reject the wrong notions, the yoga is used. To establish the self is the Vedanta Vidya is used. Now here we see Ityadi Shruti Satebhyaha. Okay. Now one more thought. Nacha Sampradanadi Karaka Veda Adarshane Karma Upapadyate. Is it not? You can never have a karma without the Sampradana Adi Karaka Veda. Sampradana Adi. Sampradana means what? To whom you are depending on. Sampradana is what? The Devata should be there to give us the karma phala. Just like that, it doesn't happen. Then the Devata also should be ordered by the higher authority to exactly give this phala to this karma. Then there is another Devata in our own Indriyas to support those karmas through the Indriyas. Then the Karta should take this Sankalpa. He should feel himself incomplete. So many Sampradanadi are required for the karma. Okay, then Anyatva Darshana Apavadaha cha Vidya Vishaye Sahasrasah Shruyate. About the Atma Vidya discussion, wherever it happened, thousands of places, Anyatva is Apavada. Apavadita means Vada acceptance, Apavada means rejection. In all the Vidya Vishayas, means whenever the Vishaya topic, wherever the Atma Vidya topics have come in the Upanishads, everywhere द अन्यत्व का डिस्कार्डिंग ही किया गया है, अन्यत्व दर्शन का अपवाद ही किया गया। कर्म में अन्यत्व की जरूरत है, विद्या में अन्यत्व को रिजेक्ट किया है। So they are totally of opposite nature. Therefore, the samuchaya cannot be possible. Atah samuchaya anubhavati. Therefore, here what happened? Tatra yad uktam samhatabhyam vidya karmabhyam moksha iti tat anubhavannam. So through the vidya and karma samhati, the moksha will be attained. That is stands rejected, stands cancelled. Karma is of different nature of having so many dualities. Vidya talks about ekamevadvayam brahma. दोनों कैसे मिलके जाएंगे? Vidya is exclusively enough for knowing the Atma and getting moksha. Karma is not at all required. The topic is not over. Later on, some points when the Purvapakshi raises, while answering to it, our Siddhanta is, वो मेरे बेटे मोक्ष दिलाने के लिए मैंने रिजेक्ट किया पूरे कर्म को, क्योंकि मोक्ष इज द स्वरूप ऑफ द आत्मा. To do the anubhava of the Atma, which is called as moksha, what do you have to do? You are that only already. Just know it. To bring to your notice this point, I rejected the karma. Oh, my dear child, to come to that subtlest intellect to establish in the self and to undo whatever the doings were earlier done, karma is definitely required. You will accept later on. अंतःकरण शुद्धि के लिए चाहिए, आत्म प्राप्ति के लिए नहीं. आत्म प्राप्ति ओनली थ्रू विद्या, but atmanubhava will not come as long as antakarana ashuddha. Therefore, the ashuddha of antakarana is removed by variety of the karma. Either karma, karma yoga, ashtanga yoga, bhakti yoga, ऐसा आ जाता. Here comes the next one. Then Purva Pakshi. Vihitatvat karmanam Shruti Virodha iti chet. Are Baba, if that is the case, why the Shruti has done the karma vihitatva? Vihitam is imposing. Karna hi hai karke. Ultimately, we have to all trust Shruti. Shruti is our final authority to understand and do or not do. In the Shruti, karma vihitatva is there. Injunctions are there in the Shruti for the karma to be done. Now, if you outrightly reject the karma, then there is Shruti Virodha. Please make me happy by convincing me. Shruti should have completely rejected karma. Shruti is for moksha, first of all. According to you, moksha is through vidya. And you just know through all logics proved karma is not required. If karma is not required, Shruti also should have said karma is not required. But why Shruti itself has said as karma to be done, to be done? My confusion, ma'am. Therefore, what is the meaning? What is Shruti saying at each time? And what is finally Shruti saying? The ability to understand that is only with the great acharyas. Those who are not tuned to those acharyas try to independently study Shastra, isolated manner, they only get confusion. Just like Gita. Tasmad uttishta kaunte yuddhaya. Now, if you take that sentence isolated way, you look, appears that Krishna is a warmonger and telling Arjuna, get up and fight Yuddha. Now, if you take that sentence independently, I say likta because literal meaning is that only. तस्मात् हे कौन्तेय उत्तिष्ठ युद्धाय कृत निश्चयः. युद्ध करने के निश्चय लेकर उठो तुम. सो भगवान क्या कह रहे हैं? देखो युद्ध करने को कह रहे. बट इफ दिस सेंटेंस विच इज taken isolatedly there, can it be applied everywhere? Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna said in Gita to fight. Therefore, wife and husband should fight. Parents should, because yuddhaya kutanishya, uttishta, subah uठते युद्ध शुरू करो. Two countries should fight. Are you understanding? If we are not properly guided by the acharyas who understand everything, how we study great scriptures but misunderstand them, get misguided by ourselves. Therefore, Shastrajnaha api swatantrena parabrahmanveshanam na kuryatu. Acharyavan Purusha eva Veda. A sadhaka, only an good acharya to guide him can correctly understand the Shruti. So there, Bhagavan Krishna gave so many earlier examples. First, he taught the Brahma Tattva Vidya. It's Anashwaratva Ityadi. Then he talked from the Jiva standpoint. Then he talked from the Deha standpoint. Then he talked from the Dharma standpoint. Then he said, for the establishment of the Dharma, which is in front of you as an immediate kartavya, you get up and do yuddha. It's not that every time do yuddha. Is it not? The Gita or any of the Shastras finally only for giving moksha. But people, even the great people like the Tilak Bala Gangadhar and all, an isolated way they look at Gita, they say Gita talks only about the karma. And wherever Gita talks karma, only those quotations he writes, he takes up. देखो अरे कृष्ण गीता में कर्म करने को कहा कर्म करने को कहा he is a karmatha, therefore he likes that only to say. He doesn't rise above his insisting way of looking at to comprehend in its completeness what is Gita's final message. He is right. Gita is talking about karma, but Gita is only for karma, it is not right. Gita is the moksha grantha. Therefore, you need the acharyas who comprehensively study the Shastra and tell us the what is final thing, what are the other things, and whose position is what. Okay. So here the Purvapakshi says, Shruti ने खुद ही कहा कर्म को विहित किया है. Visit means should be done. Then there's a virodha is happening. Okay. So, he says, विहितत्वात् कर्मणां श्रुति विरोधः इति चेत् सी यदि उपमृद्य कर्त्रादिकारक विशेषम् आत्म एकत्व विज्ञानं विधीयते सर्पादि भ्रांति विज्ञान उपवर्धक रज्ज्वादि विषय विज्ञानवत् तर्हि प्राप्तः कर्म विधि श्रुतीनां निर्विषयत्वात् विरोधः विहितानि च कर्माणि सह च विरोधः न युक्तः प्रमाणत्वात् श्रुतीनाम् इति चेत् one after the other is shooting the arrows. This is Purvapaksh. His main sentence is what? Shruti has ordained the karma. You are rejecting the karma. You are doing Shruti Virodha. Hey Siddhanti. He is explaining it. Yadi, if at all, Upamrudya Kartradi Karaka Vishesham. By washing away and throwing away Karta, Karma, Karmendriyas, Ityadi. As said by you. Atma Ekatva Vijnanam Vidiyate. That through the Vidya, Atma Ekatva is established. Just like Sarpadi Bhranti Vijnana Upamardaka Rajva Adi Vishya Vijnanavat. Bhranti Janya Sarpa, then the Sarpaka, the fangs or the poison, having rejected all of them, Sarpa Rajva Adi Vishya Vijnanavat. Like that, the Vijnana of the Sarpa is given in the same way by rejecting all these Kartradi Vishesha. Only the Atma Vidya is established, which is the Siddhanti's main Siddhanta. Therefore, by this point, you can understand Purva Pakshi is almost coming and matching with the Siddhanti, except some notions still are there in him. Fears are there in him. They also will be rejected after the conclusion of this entire discussion. Now, at this moment, अगर सर्प आदि भ्रांति विषयों को फेंक कर रज्जु को जानने के तरह कर्त्रादि भावनाओं को त्याग कर आत्म एकत्व विज्ञान को स्थापित करना ही श्रुति का लक्ष्य अगर तात्पर्य है, इफ इट ऑल्सो, देन कर्म विधि श्रुति नाम. व्हाट इज द यूज ऑफ देन कर्म विधि? कर्म विधि श्रुति नाम निर्विषयत्वात्. निर्विषय मतलब जरूरत ही नहीं है. श्रुति में वो है, देन विरोध हो जाएगा वहां. वाई शुड द श्रुति गिव द कर्म विधि व्हेन इट इज नॉट एट ऑल रिक्वायर्ड? विरोध हो गया वहां ना. just to reject the superimposed kartradi, then discover the existing self. You are saying this, Siddhanti? Yeah. Then why the karma vidhi? Yajna karo, wo karo, ye karo. Shruti only is saying. And Vitani cha karmani, please, you study Vedas. Everywhere, like in Gita, I told you, Yuddhasva. Everywhere, do are told. Therefore, unless we have the highly scholarly mind, where do is done, where no is done, no means KNOW, where upasana is taught, where rejections have to be are taught, everything to be able to understand and comprehensively understand, it is not an easy job, scholarly. You have to be like that. And by listening to the Guru in this way regularly, every intellect comes to that level. That's how the one who is teaching us now also was earlier at our stage. But he studied Shastras under the guidance of Guru, struggled himself through contemplation and all. His intellect has matured now to this stage of understanding comprehensively position of each of them. That's how now he is mukta. He has no theoretical doubts. And that practice of the theory is done, he experienced it. You and I also will slowly lift ourselves to that level when we go on listening. So here the Purvapakshi's point is what? Spashta roop say in the vidhi, in the Shruti, the karma vidhi is given. Karma vidhi tattva is given. But you are rejecting the karma. Therefore there is a virodha. And I am not blaming you only that you are doing virodha. I am questioning the Shruti herself as to when by rejecting Kartru Karakadi differences, the self is established, which is Atmaikatva Vijnanam, and that is the cause of moksha. Oh, my dear Shruti Mata, why have you done the Vidhana of the karma? I am caught up in that. I was studying the Shruti independently. In that karma was so many places seen, and I am doing that only, and my mind is filled with that. Now the Siddhanta is in front of me. He is telling me about the not necessary thing of the karma, telling us to reject, but I am not able to do. वो माता बताओ क्यों आपने कर्म का निर्देश दिया? जब मोक्ष के लिए आत्मा को जानना है, जानना के लिए अनात्मा को त्यागना है, एंड अनात्मा इज इन द फॉर्म ऑफ दिस ड्युअलिटी ऑफ कर्तृकर्म इत्यादि, कर्तृकारक इत्यादि. See, he is now questioning his own misunderstanding of the Shruti. गुरु को मिसअंडरस्टैंड करना छोड़ दिया अभी. Shruti ko bhi, he is not blaming her. He is questioning himself now, as if. So therefore, ultimately, we have to find the question our own thinking, our own way of life. Then only we are philosopher. If you question others, you are a samsari. If you question yourself, you are a philosopher. Then you find the answer within you. All the shastras, satsangas, finally end up in making us question our own understandings, our own ways of life, our own behavior, finally what exactly you are. When the questions are raised, that question is called a viveka, vicharana, contemplation. To that questioning called viveka, vicharana and all that, the ignorance cannot stand. It runs away. Beautiful. As long as we don't question, ignorance rules our life. The moment start asking the question, ignorance goes away, the reality is revealed. Like question yourself, why I have this bad habit? Till we don't question it, we justify and we leave that bad habit only. LIV. When you start questioning slowly, the question से वो हिल जाता है. धीरे धीरे the question become deeper, then it is understood that it is not necessary, then we come out. We cannot stay in a ajnanam and murkhata when we start asking the prashna. The problem is we ask others, not ourselves. The one who asks others is a samsari. The one who asks himself is called as the jignasu and sadhak. And he cannot have an answer. So Guru के पास जाके पूछता है. Guru never gives the answer. Guru gives a direction of contemplation. When we follow that direction of contemplation, we find the answer within. Every question is inside, every answer is inside, every ignorance is inside, every knowledge is inside. In me only. Guru and Shastra are like the mirrors. When you look at them, they point us out where we are going wrong in our thinking and understanding. Using that, we have to correct ourselves. That's the moksha. So there is a virodha has come, Maharaj. Kya kare abhi? Sacha virodha na yuktaha. But that virodha is not acceptable because pramanatva shrutinam. Shrutis are the pramana. Shruti is a pramana for all of us. Yeah. Shruti is doing the karma vihitatva means karma karo karke carry hai Shruti. And then you are saying that by rejecting kartradi bheda, discover the atma ekatva, then it is moksha. Then what is the position of all these karmas? Why that virodhavas? How to understand it? Please reconcile me. Help me to reconcile it. What is the position of the karma which is given by the Shruti as vihita? Vihita means to be done for good. Vitaha means vidhi, hitartham. It's called vidhi. Vidhi means to be done. Hitartham means in your own interest. So hitartham vidhi is called vihitatvam. So कर्म विहित है शास्त्र में. हमारे हित के लिए कर्म विधि के रूप में दिया गया. इस पर इस कर्म विहित is सिद्धांति न. For all your questions, my dear, first answer is no. He explains. First, you be with me. पहले मेरे बात को पकड़, फिर मैं तुम्हारे पॉइंट का आंसर देता हूं. This is a very interesting thing. First, when you reject what elders are saying, you can never understand their standpoint. You can never give up your lower standpoint. That is why the need of the faith that the Guru knows better than me. With this faith only, we accept first of all what he said as right. Thereafter, we inquire. In the inquiry, what we are thinking is wrong is proved. Then what Guru said is right is proved. First you have to accept. Acceptance ही नहीं किया मानो. Then you can never. Like if the Britishers don't accept that the Kohinoor diamond belongs to India, then the question further that is to be given to India, it will never rise. If the Pakistani don't accept that occupied Kashmir belongs to India, let us give it to India. Thought आएगा ही नहीं. Slowly the international community started saying now Pakistan belongs to India. Sorry, that POK, Kashmir belongs to India. POK, we are talking about Kashmir. So here also, first Guru's words you accept because he's a Guru. Somebody is a Guru only when we accept his words first on the strength of faith. After that, through logic, to analysis, to experiment, through experimentation, etc., we'll come to the conviction that what we believed was right. If you don't have the belief itself, then you don't put further efforts. You will only try to talk opposite of it. Like Swamiji ke classes useless hai. If you conclude that way, you never try to come at all. Then something is given. If this thought at least is there, then let me go and see what is. These further things happen. Then when you come really, you see, we are studying Upanishad, we are studying Shastras, we are becoming deeper in our understanding. Yes. So here, in the next topic, first the Siddhanti puts his final point. Then he takes up the question of the Purvapakshi, how to resolve this Virodha. Virodha means this thing. One side you are saying karma is not required to know the Atma Vidya, just reject the Kartrutadi Bheda, then that Eka Atma on which these things are projected is realized. It is appealing to me also. But again, the Shruti everywhere, karma, karma, karma is told. If it is not required, why it is told? If it is told, we have to do. But that is not the hetu for the moksha. You are proving to me. Is it not? He is in that mood. The Guru stays first this one. देखो पहली बात पुरुषार्थ उपदेश परत्वात् श्रुतीनाम. Shrutis are only for the Purushartha Upadesha. Whenever you use the word Purushartha here, it is Chaturtha Purushartha called Moksha Purushartha. So, Moksha Purushartha Upadesh karna hi Parama Lakshya hai Shruti ka. Neither Dharma nor Artha nor Kama. In the Karma, Dharma, Artha, Kama are there. In the Moksha, Karma is not required. Moksha is to recognize what is there, the truth, reality as it is. Not knowing it alone is a cause of bandhana. So first Purushartha Paratva, Purushartha Upadesha Paratvat Shrutinam. Now the next sentence is Gambhiram. I'll just read out for you. This is the same thing. He makes a sentence, the Siddhanti explains it. Just like the Purpakshi also puts his point and he explains. Earlier he said, Ki, I told you, what he said in the earlier one, Ki Vihitatvat Karmanam, Karma ko Shruti ne vihit kiya. Therefore, Shruti Virodha iti chet. If you reject the Shruti, Karma, it becomes Shruti Virodha. That was his sentence. He explained it. What is that? Yadi upamrudya kartradhikaraka vishesham. By rejecting the kartradhikaraka, Atma ekatva vijnanam vidhiyate. The Atma ekatva vijnana is given for the moksha. Example is Sarpadi Bhranti Vijnana Upamardaka Rajvadi Vishay Vijnanavat. By rejecting the Sarpadi Bhranti, the Jnana of the Rajju is given like that. Then he, in that case, Praptaha Karma Vidhi Shrutinam Nirvishayatvat Virodaha. Then the Karma Vidhi Shruti is not required. Therefore, proposing them is called Virodha only. But Vita Anja Karmani. These are all explanation for his main sentence. Here also, Guru gives main sentence. Purushartha Upadesha Paratvat Shrutina. Now its Vivarana is what? The Vivarana is what? Ki Vidya Upadesha Para Tavat Shrutihi Samsarat Purusha Mokshayitavyaha Iti Samsara Hetoho Avidyayaha Vidyaya Nivruti Kartavya Iti Vidya Prakashakatvena Pravutta Iti Navirodaha. First he makes his point stand strong. डिसाइपल पूर्व पक्षी उसको पहले पकड़ने से पहले अपने समस्या को पहले हल करना चाहते. He says एवमपि कर्त्राधिकारक सद्भाव प्रतिपादन परम शास्त्रम विरुध्यते एव इति चेत. Then he answers the beautiful concluding points. Now we are going to study tomorrow in this regard, and another topic is discussed for a few more paragraphs. It gives us the summary. It's a very good discussion. Just listen. This inquiry, as I told you every day, I'm telling, sharpens our intellect, makes us think, contemplate. The intellectual inquiry alone removes all strongly embedded notions, wrong understandings, taken as right understandings. If the inquiry is not set in us, we can never reject the negative thinking or wrong thinking, and we can never enter into the right understanding. It is in Vyavahara also. दिमाग लगाकर जब तक नहीं सोचते हैं, हम समस्या को ही समाधान मानकर समस्या में ही फंसे रहते. Here also the same. So tomorrow we'll see what Bhagavan Shankara continues to explain us in this regard. Om 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 Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramarshibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Namaha. Om Tat Sat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you, friends. Let us continue in our today's class the study of Yoga Darshanam. Day by day, little by little, we add. It is our luck that we are given a chance to study, opportunity to study, conveniences to study. Out of millions, only few get a chance. And among them, some use it consistently. And when they use it consistently, all the inabilities, deficiencies are replaced by the abilities and efficiencies. And once the Shastra Jnanam is thoroughly understood, no more the avidya or moha, etc., continue to persecute us. Other than this, Shastra Janita Vidya Prapti will be all based in Ajnanam, in the worldliness, and create continuously troubles to us and others around. Therefore, study of Shastra regularly, even though it is difficult, we have to do. Thank you. Now,